Maiya Quansah-Breed, welcome to West End Best Friend, my angel. How are you?
Hello, darling Duncan. I am good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. All the better for speaking to you, my angel.
Stop it, darling.
For everyone who's been, living under a rock for the past few years, who is Maiya Quansah-Breed? What is her story?
Her story, gosh, where do I begin? I probably got into all of this, I'd say, 12 years old, went to see Oliver, went to see Oliver with Kerry Ellis in it, and it just completely blew my mind. It was one of those...
That production.
It was the first time where I probably ever felt like incredibly inspired by something, and I think that's what really made me go, this is what I want to do as a career, because I'd sang for a very long time before that, but not really known, and people have been saying to me, go on X Factor, go on The Voice, go on Britain's Got Talent. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. It's never really appealed to me. Like, kudos and congrats to the people who do it, because I think it's the confidence to do it, but it's just not where I'm passionate.
Totally.
Musical theatre and going down the performing route was just exactly that moment. It just, a light bulb went off for me. And then I went to Pendleton College at 16 and had
amazing.
I had the most wonderful 2 years there and met the most incredible people who I hold very dearly to my heart still.
Pendleton's great. Got a stonking rep.
Stonking, yeah. It was fabulous. It was the most wonderful time of my life, and anyone who gets to go to Pendleton, it was wonderful. And then I was fortunate enough to get a place at drama school. I went to GSA, I got off the reserve list, and I got in. Yes! And the joy, on my 18th birthday, I was 18 and I also got a place at drama school, so it was
what a thrill.
Moment. I'll never forget it. Nothing has ever topped it yet. Maybe the Olivier's, but I made myself ill getting in, and I did it, and it was just the most...
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. What it was as well is the fact that I was watching everyone around me get in, all my really good friends, and I was thinking, oh gosh, what have I done? What am I doing wrong? And it's not like you're not doing anything wrong, that's the thing, but at the time no one can tell you that. So when I got in, the joy, because I just lost hope. I completely lost hope, and that's a long life lesson. Don't lose hope, because you never know what door's going to get opened. But that was a veer off, but yes, anyway. And then I went to GSA and had another wonderful 3 years. And yeah, it was very testing time though, because obviously you're moving away from your home, you're meeting all these new people. And at first I was nervous, of course was, but I thrived. I had a great time there.
Gorgeous.
Second year, I really struggled though. Second year was tough, but I don't know what...
Second year was tough.
Yeah, I don't know what second year for anyone's not tough, so I struggled that year. And I remember getting into Easter, it was coming up for, I think it was the second semester, we just started the second semester, and I rang Mum I'm gonna quit! I can't do this anymore! And Mum was like, you are not. She was like, not a chance. You are getting driven back after Easter. That is not happening. And lo and behold, she drove me back. And I wasn't kicking or screaming or anything. I think I just needed a break. I just think I needed to decompress. And so never beat yourself up for having a break. I went back, and then I really loved third year. I proper loved third year. Obviously going straight into sixth, which I did not think was going to happen. So that is, a big part of me and a big part of my career.
Absolutely. Because you went to GSA with Grace as well, didn't you?
Yeah. So me and Grace studied together. We used to have the heater nights together, and she's the best. She's the best. One of my bestest friends. And I was so grateful for doing that job with her, because when we found out we were doing it together, we were just so ecstatic, because it was just so exciting. And the fact that my first job I get to do it with someone like Grace, I've never been happier. We did not leave each other's side for 16 months. We'd been the closest friends in GSA anyway, and I'd see her every day, all day, but then getting to see her even longer than that after that, it's just such a bonus. And then that's me up until now. I did sing, and then obviously 6 months later a pandemic hit, and I managed to do little things here and there. So I did Rent at the Hope Mill, and obviously cases, but it's gonna get its time.
Absolutely. And speaking of, we're huge here for supporting original British musical theatre is all where it's about, and I love that, which is why I'm thrilled that Six has done so well, because it's so hard nowadays for original British musical theatre, for things that aren't necessarily based on books or films or that have commercial success, to do so well, which is why it's so fantastic when anyone does, because I think just the tenacity and bravery that someone has to go, I'm going to make something original and I'm going to do it. I think is amazing.
Yeah.
So speaking of cases, the cast album drops tomorrow, am I right? So Maiya, talk to us. What is Cases? What's Cases about?
The way I interpret cases and the way I look at cases, it's the cases of life. It's everything that, all these little things that make life what it is. So the cases of a pandemic, the cases of a cold, the cases of love, the cases of struggle, the cases of achievement. I follow that route, and I very much see in the character of Sophia that I play, so Sophia and player one, because it's like the players kind of go through the piece, like kind of like narrating it, and then Sophia, who I play, she is a out of work actress who is wanting to potentially look at another career alongside her acting career, because I think actors are the most versatile people, resilient and versatile.
Amen to that.
She is going out and finding other skills and other things, because when you are an out of work actor, 9 times out of 10 are going to be doing something else that you didn't think you didn't train to do, but there you are. So she is currently looking at going to a university to study law, and she also does costume design as well. So she's got all these little things under her back, and it's her journey through her like self-acceptance, her self-worth, her journey of being an actor and being out of work and having to find other things to do, and the struggle but also the jubilation in that as well. And throughout the piece you see everyone's journeys so clearly, but with like at the minute there's no dialogue. So when we got the music, it's very much like, for me, I read it as like, oh, this is like a Songs for a New World vibe, where like it's very narrated by the songs. And I think that's so beautiful, because song cycles can be so difficult, but when I listen to Dominic's music and I listen to Cases, for me it's so clear. My journey as a character and where my arc and my peak is so clear. And personally, I think my peaks for the show is heightened, and it's those moments of pure ecstasy in a way that's so like release. It's that release of emotion, regardless of what emotion that is. It is just a overwhelming feeling, and anytime I get to sing those songs, as you'll get to hear tomorrow on the album, that I hope I convey that over the recording.
I mean, obviously, because of Six, you're no stranger to working on an original musical. Like, what's it like, and how's it been working with Dominic Powell and getting your voice across through his work?
It's been amazing, and I'm such a like pioneer in musicals. Not that I could ever write anything myself, so that is why I champion people who are creative and have that kind of mind to be able to put pen to paper and make something incredible and beautiful and able to share it, and then you get the pleasure of being able to share that story. It is my favourite thing to do. It really, really is. And before I did Six, I think I had in my mind of how I wanted my career to pan out and what it was I wanted to do, and I'm so grateful for Six, because it really did change my perception on what I wanted to fill my career with. And I realised it's with new creative pieces, it's new British work. And no shade on American work, but we seem to have a lot of it influxing into the UK, and we don't get that same crossover back. So I'm so glad that like Six made it to Broadway, because how many British pieces get taken that far?
Nowadays, they're very few and far between. Like, when you're talking 80s, like, we were dominating, but that's so long ago now.
Exactly. So
of recent,
rise, the British.
We're back.
The British.
We're going to invade with glorious original musical theatre.
Yes. Like I was saying, that the one thing about the pandemic is I cannot wait for all the work that's going to come out of this. Like, I know it's been a time I see of like great oppression, because obviously we're not able to leave our homes, and well, obviously we are within reason, but the oppression that it's created, I feel like creatives are like chunks of coal, and under pressure they become diamonds, and that's what I feel like with work. And that's what I feel like probably the pandemic has done for some people. It's added so much pressure that their work has become a diamond. It's sparkly, it's clean, and it's gonna flourish in this new world that we're currently living in.
And ultimately, like, almost ready to go, because people have been able to do so many. I know I've been fortunate enough to be part of a few readings of work, and it's so exciting to have that done now, and to see like when we can be back, they can literally, we're like, right, I've done the first 3 stages, let's find like an actual physical workshopping space to get this stuff on its feet.
And that's why I'm so excited by Cases, and that's why I know even when, like, because it got cancelled because of the pandemic being in a national lockdown, a global lockdown last year, that I had to honour this piece because the story of this piece has to be told. The music is so gorgeous and the characters are also so relatable as well. We're all out of work actors at the minute, so I really relate with that with Sophia, because getting to sing those songs is something special about that, and getting to go into the studio, and the fact that tomorrow is its release. I don't have the words.
I'm sorry, but when you've got people like you, APW, Waylon and Bobby all on those, and that's the thing, that's kudos, because the blend is, you know what I mean? And those voices.
We had not met each other, like, other than Andrew, obviously we started on it earlier last year together. Like, we'd never met Bobby and Waylon, never sang with them before. So obviously that there is that fear of, like, do we blend? Do we sound good together? And obviously in a recording show, they can make us blend. But when we first got together a couple of weeks ago, we did The Road to Prominence, which is a concert that is being released for Black History Month. And Dominic directed that. And it was the first time we got to sing together, and it was like Harry Potter wizard. It was some wizardry. It was like someone just went, and we sang together. Like, we've been singing together for years, and I was like, this is what it's about. This is special. Like, that was magic, what we just created right there and right there.
And what was it like getting back into a recording studio in COVID times? Like, how was it being able to produce music but also adapt to how we have to do things like that right now?
It was incredibly humbling, actually, because it was the first time in ages that we were able to do something with Cases, and it was so nice because for so long I kept getting calls from Dom and emails from my agent and stuff saying that, like, oh, we're going to try and do something, and then it wouldn't get it off its feet because obviously we'd end up in another lockdown, the tiers would change, and it seemed to be obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. So when he called me and was like, are you free on Tuesday? I was like, yes, I'm free on Tuesday. Where do you need me? I just came down to London, we got in the studio, and I laid down about 9 tracks. Like, I just smashed it out, like, proper. And I think even to this day, it's some of my best work. I know I've got a way to go. I know I'm only young, but, like, I'm so proud of what we achieved on that day, because we were under, not so much pressure. It wasn't even pressure. That's the wrong word. It's the time constraints. Like,
it's limitations, and this is what I've been saying to a lot of people, I think, which harks back to what you were saying about your diamond analogy, which I'm stealing. Thank you so much. Is the most positive thing that has come out of this entire situation is how much I love it when you put limitations on creative people, or how much you say you can't do this, because they'll be like, I can. I can watch me do it. And I think that's when you get, obviously on the stress side, it's not ideal, but creatively, that's when I think all these amazing things happen.
Yeah, it was very much like Dom said to us, right, we have like pretty much like 2 whole days to film it and do the album. And it was me, and so they paired us up. So it was like me and Andrew who kind of split the day. So I recorded for 3 hours, and then I had a 3-hour break, and then he would record for 3 hours, and then I would come back, record for 2 hours, and he would come back and record for 2 hours. But obviously, because of the limitation of COVID, we couldn't have us all in the same room and do it. Like, because in a real world, in a normal world, like, we would have all been together, we would have sang Cases all together, got the real, like, studio vibe of it, and then probably done bits individually so they could mix it and things like that, where it's literally, I was the first person to sing the part, so it was dead vocals just with me, and then it got layered up and on and on. So there was the fear in that of, am I doing the cut-offs right? Am I singing it right? Am I doing the blend right? And when you're not singing it with other people, so that was also the difficult side of it. But I think we pulled it off and we smashed it out the bag.
And I agree, because if you listen to that and watch that video on YouTube, it doesn't sound like you all recorded that at different times on different days in rooms of, and that's testament to you guys, and obviously to incredible sound engineering and mixing. But again, it's what you can produce when you say you can't do that, and that's what I love about a British musical theatre and like fringe musical theatre. Like with Six, make a pop concert about the 6 queens of Henry VIII. No. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we'll make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. Will and Joe at the Hope Mill. You're going to produce that piece of work in that theatre? Don't think so. Yeah, we will.
Watch us. Can't wait for us to even get that opportunity as well. Like, it's kind of one of those things people say, oh, when is it coming back? I don't have the answer, because when's COVID over? I don't have the answers. But I feel it in my soul that we are going to get our opportunities to do something with this, because it's too good to miss. It's too good to not have an audience.
Absolutely. And that was going to be my question. What's your dream for this piece? In an ideal world, now, if COVID finished tomorrow, where would Cases go? Where would you want it to go? What would you want to happen?
I've been sending it out to the ancestors, so we'll see if it gets answered. I've not spoken to Dom about this. But I'm just going to put it out there. A singular night at the Palladium.
Gorge.
I would love that. Like, big band, or like all the orchestra, Cases was all stood there in these absolutely gorgeous gowns and giving you cases. That, for me, televised on the BBC as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
Because I think we know after the the musical's great show thing the other night that we got like 4.9 million viewers. People want theatre. People want to watch.
Want the theatre.
People want the theatre.
Give the people what they want.
We want Cases, which is available to download tomorrow. It's so close, less than 24 hours. How exciting!
Tomorrow.
Maiya, you're a dream. Thank you so much for coming to chat to us today.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Pleasure. You're a legend. Take care of yourself. Keep sane and happy and healthy.
Stay sane.
And we can't wait to hear you belt out some Cases live in real life soon.